Yo, what's up, everyone? We are back with this year's MMA Awards 2024. Let's go. Boy, oh boy, did we have a whole lot of stuff happen this year.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good year.
Yeah, definitely a very solid year in the UFC. Just MMA in general, honestly. Probably not the greatest year, overall, but still very solid. At least 7 or 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? Been very nice.
Yeah.
But this year we got 11 awards to hand out this time around.
And like 4 people to give them to.
Yo, don't no spoilies, all right? What the goddamn hell? There's some reoccurring themes. We'll get there when we get there, all right? But to start it all off, let's go with Prospect of the Year. Who in 2024 was a new up-and-coming star coming onto the scene where everyone getting all hyped up and just like, okay, this guy or female, whatever, might actually be a contender in their division.
Out of all the categories, I think this is the most clear-cut. There is no other name that lives up to Carlos Prates.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where a lot of these fighters just didn't fight as much or as high level of competition. Because I definitely, if Rinya Nakamura had fought more and, made his way into the top 15, I definitely would have been making an argument for Rinya, but...
Hell yeah. But it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes in the fight game, the way certain things go. And it's like, Carlos Prates coming in, making his debut in February of this year. He was on Contender Series last August, August 23. But yeah, he made his debut February, knocked out Trevin Giles, fought again June 8th, knocked out Charles Radke, fought again August 17th, knocked out the Leech, and then November 9th broke into the top 15, knocking out Neil Magny.
4 fights, 4 knockouts, all against fairly good fighters. Like, none of these were
one top 15. The Leech solid, I think.
He wasn't top 15 at the time, but he's been a guy.
Solid fighter.
He's been hovering around top 15 usually.
Yeah,
and I was going to say that was the first person who knocked him out. I just wanted to double check that. That's what I was going to say.
Yep.
Not that he was top 15, but I was going to say I think that was the first time he was knocked out.
Yeah, he was the first person to knock him out, and that was real bad. Like, the Leech is a very tough guy, and every time Prates was touching him, he was hurt, dropped, rocked all over the place. He was putting it on him, and then, like you said, the last fight, getting the first round knockout over Neil Magny, bursting into the top 15, taking a main event spot on short notice as well. It's like, if there was any moment for him to stumble throughout the year, it would have been against a guy like Neil Magny, who has the physical advantages, unlike all of the other opponents that he fought this year, being as tall and long as him. He's a veteran in the game. He knows how to win fights with his grappling and going over 5 rounds. Like, 4th fight of the year, all in rapid succession. It's just and to still get it done first round, looking amazing. I agree that there are some other categories that are like just still like a locked in, like number one answer to me. But this one for sure, Carlos Prates, he is your prospect of the year for 2024.
Really barely any competition because, like I said, a lot of the fighters didn't fight as much or did not live up to the hype as much. Like Rebellos to Spain, like that beginning of the year when he came in. When he came in, it was like, okay, this is actually going to be like really. And then just losing the way he did. And then just it comes down to like just amount of fights. Like I said, Rinya didn't fight that much. Peyton Talbot, same thing. And just level of competition as well. Vinicius Oliveira.
Both of them came in with have a whole lot of hype on their name with Vinicius Oliveira and Peyton Talbot. Both did very good this year with their fights, but it, like you said, both of them only fighting 2 times this year. Prates having double the amount of wins and against more notable opponents. It just has to be him.
Yep.
Yeah, no. It was easily Prates this year. Like, there was just no doubt about it.
Yeah, so good for him. He definitely did his thing this year, and I'm so excited for what 2025 has to bring.
Oh yeah.
Rumors of him fighting Leon.
Well, yeah, because like it's fucking crazy to think that he went 4-0, and had he not had an injury, he could have been fighting Shavkat in the main event the co-main event in December. And with the way Shavkat performed, Carlos could have knocked him out that night.
Bro,
Carlos
like I wouldn't have I wouldn't have been surprised if that happened. Well, I would have been, because I have the foreshadow now of like how he performed in my head, but like obviously leading into it, I would have been like, dog, what?
Oh,
but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like 100%. How he performed that night. Carlos could have got that done.
Yeah, to like not go off on too long of a tangent or anything. If he did get that fight and he knocked out Shavkat, that being his 5th fight, 5th knockout, do you think like he, like obviously, and you know, we'll get to it later on, but like with fighter of the year, do you think he would have been fighter of the year as well?
I feel like he damn near would have been prospect fighter and breakout fighter of the year. Like there was just nothing else. Like who would have had a more impressive year than Prates at that point?
Nah, seriously.
Like literally.
I feel like with that win, we almost wouldn't have been able to put him at prospect, because it's like at that point beating the number 1 guy,
came
like
in and took himself out of prospect in
like
1 year.
In the span of a year.
But yeah, just absolutely incredible year for Carlos Prates. Incredible year for the fighting nerds as well. In all honesty, it just a great gym rising up and doing very good things with their fighters. Let's go. Moving on to our second award. This one I am very excited to talk about, honestly, because it's been the thing of just seeing how, just with all the other MMA outlets, you know, whatever, just doing this.
I have overlooked.
Yeah, I have not seen one outlet put this guy as the comeback fighter of the year, because you had some pretty good ones. Like Dom Reyes, I feel like is a very solid contender. 2 very good wins this year, you know, after just the, you know, not necessarily last year being rough, but the entire streak, you know? Been seeing a lot of people do Yusuf Zalal, but it's like, I understand that he did bad in the UFC, like, you know, at the end got cut, but then it's like he won his fights in the regional scene, came back and did good. You know what I mean? It's like, I get where people went, but, you know, just Nasruddin, I feel like, is a great shout out. Had 1 loss and 1 no contest last year to go 3-0 this year, cementing himself as a top 5 fighter.
Got himself an Israel Adesanya fight.
Yes.
So.
But for me, and I know for us, the number 1 fighter, clear cut, no doubt about it, it's Charles Energy Johnson at 125 pounds. This dude started the year 2-6 in the UFC. Or 2-4 in the UFC. Sorry, 2-4. 2-4. 4 fights this year after a 3-fight losing streak last year. Gets himself into the top 15, knocks out Joshua Van for a $50,000 bonus. Had, I'm pretty sure, another one in there with a fight of the night. And
when he took the O off of Azat Maxim. And he had fight of the night, But it's like he went 1-3 last year to go 4-0 this year. It's fucking crazy. And like you said, breaking into the top 15. Because I understand exactly, with Yusuf Zalal, but it's like you said, he was winning. You have Charles Johnson, who's been in the UFC and literally went on a 3-fight losing streak last year, to then go on a 4-fight winning streak and getting into the top 15. He's the comeback fighter of the year, bro.
I'm good. It's just insane, like what he was able to, like, just that turnaround, because he definitely, the first fight of this year, he was looking down like at his career like this could be it in the UFC. He easily could have gotten cut after his first fight of the year if he had lost. Going on a 4-fight losing streak, he would have been 2-5 at that point. Like, it easily could have happened.
Plus 200 dog going into that fight as well.
So
and he's also not the youngest, right?
No, he's not.
What is he? 30?
Right. No, I don't.
No, I think he's like 33.
33, 30. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 33 or 36.
Sorry, I just had it here, but 33 years old. Okay. He'll be 34 January 10th.
Okay.
So not the youngest. So they would have been like, okay, this is kind of where he's at. Let's just cut our losses on it and just move on. And then for him to win, like that's great. Like some of it wasn't the highest level, but like at the same time, it's fucking flyweight. There's extremely technical guys in that division, no matter where you are, whether you're ranked or not.
And it's just like, with all, because obviously, Sumandarji being ranked when he beat him, I'm pretty sure he still had the ranking next to him.
I think so.
But it's like, obviously, for the most part, like, just like, outside the top 15 or, outside the top 15 guys. But it's like, with Azat Maxim being undefeated, Jake Hadley, Joshua Van, like, these are all very solid fighters. It's not like, they're just terrible fighters outside the top 15 and then he's beaten, you know what I mean? Just very solid step up all the way throughout the year. Fight in February, May, July, and October. absolutely incredible year for Charles Energy Johnson. Good for him on coming back and just for sure keeping his spot in the UFC.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Absolutely incredible. This next one, a good old fun one. Breakout Fighter of the Year. We had a whole lot of people doing some good stuff, as we talked about with the prospect of the year, Carlos Prates, that it's obviously just incredible what he's done. And then just as other mentions, in the prospects with Peyton Talbot, just getting, especially with the Giannis Gamori fight, him doing the whole video of like, if you want to beat me, this is how. And then he literally just counters him early first round, knocks him out off of like, it was just absolutely spectacular. And then Luck Dog, Vinicius Oliveira, that flying knee knockout over Benaro Sopaj was absolutely vicious. And then beating Ricky Simone in his second one, just a great year for him starting in the UFC, no doubt about it. But there's only one. And I feel like you got to bring it up because of just, with talking about it and, like going through all the fighters, he's been overlooked and just counted out throughout the entire way. But
Joaquin Buckley. Because everyone's talking about Carlos Prates. It's like he came onto the scene this year. He's the breakout fighter. He's the clear prospect, But Buckley, he is 11-4 in the UFC. He is currently on a six-fight?
I believe
six-fight winning streak. Yes. All of it at 170 now.
Yep.
But the thing is he was at 185 and he was real back and forth and super overlooked because of that. He knocked some people out that didn't matter. He got knocked out. It was just not a very impressive streak for him. Moves down to 170 and everyone's just like, oh, it's just Buckley. It's just Buckley. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? But this year he has finished 3 top 15 guys and gone on a 4-fight winning streak as well. Finished Vicente Luque, Wonderboy, and Colby Covington. It's like, bro, that's the breakout fighter. He went from a guy that absolutely nobody cared about to you cannot deny where he is at right now. 30 years old, just getting into his prime. Like he's really gotten to a new game.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, for real. Like that is the biggest thing is like, the fact that he basically turned around like his reputation, like how people see him. It's insane to like actually see the reactions he's been getting. The fact that it was going to be him versus Ian Gary, then they had to pull the switch around because of Bilal, and then he gets Colby Covington, and that was a fight where we're like, giving credit to Colby for taking it short notice, and it's just like, how is Buckley going to do against someone like that? You know what I mean? Like. And
it just, very different style of fighting.
Exactly. And it just he passed that with flying fucking colors because my God. Calls out fucking Kamaru Usman after, like beautiful, perfect, great call out. I do still think Sean Brady is potentially his next opponent, but just because of where everything lines up. But who knows?
But because like you said, with just everything turn around the reputation. It's like you said at the start, 11-4 in the UFC, 6-fight win streak. He went 5-4 at middleweight, where it's like his wins, like it's not like he had some solid wins, like Albert Duraev, Abdulrazak Alhassan, but the Impa Kasanganay was where he got that spinning kick off of, or like the jumping back kick off of like the caught kick. It's like everyone is just like that was the highlight of his career. And then it's like you're losing to guys like Alessio Di Chirico, who like has been finished multiple times, got cut, and then his other losses, Kevin Holland, Chris Curtis, Nasruddin Imavov. It's not like he's ever lost to bad guys either, like other than Alessio. Like that's the one bad loss in the UFC.
Yeah.
But
it's like, you even know how it is with certain solid fighters. If they're not top 15, if they don't have the number, people are like, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, just nothing super impressive. But like you said, to now turn it around like this, beautiful. He's the breakout fighter.
Let's go. Congratulations to Joaquin Buckley. Absolutely incredible year for him in 2024. Just, breaking into the title contention at this point, especially with that last one. It's like he's right there now. We got a log jam top of 170, but one more good win, and who's not going to want to see him in a title fight?
The thing is, not even just one more good win, but we all know how things go down to timelines, and Buckley's down to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Give him a time, a date, a place, and I'm 99% sure he's gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no. Honestly, if like something happens with Shavkat, like where it's like physically impossible for him to fight, because he has shown he will fight through injury. Like, but if it's like physically impossible for him to make that date, he would easily jump into. I think that's the first person they call for a short notice title fight.
Oh yeah, he for sure. Let's go. Good for him. Oh yeah. Moving on though to the next award, the fourth one, Performance of the Year.
He had some good ones.
Yeah, man, starting out the year, Sean O'Malley versus Cheeto Vera, that was feeling like that was almost a deadlock for throughout the rest of the year, because everyone knows how tough Cheeto is and what he's able to do over the distance, able to find that moment, and Suga just gave him no opportunities other than like the last 5 seconds of that fifth round or so.
But my God, that fucking knee. Oh my, the sound on that. Jesus Christ.
Literally significant strikes, 230 to 89.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
in all honesty sounds like a normal Cheeto fight, except half the time when that's happening, he also is like knocking the person down or hurting them significantly.
Yeah, but this is just like extra. Even when he be getting outstruck, this is crazy.
No, it's still crazy.
Yeah, just super rough. The performance with, Max Holloway against Justin Gaethje, obviously that was an incredible one. Him winning the BMF title, just absolutely spectacular. More recently too, Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. That was the one of like, everyone was like, finally, Manel, you did the thing that we've all been waiting for in the UFC. You know what I mean? Just absolutely spectacular.
That was a great performance by Manel. It really was.
But sadly, there can only be one at the very top that we got to give it to. And we decided to give it to Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, defending his 145-pound title. It's just one of the, like, with the Max and Gaethje fight and how incredible that was, to be coming off of that for Max as the BMF champ and just everything, for Ilia to go in there, score 2 takedowns on him like it was nothing. The fight ends early into the third round, but like 79 to 75 significant strikes landed. He was right there landing the same amount that Max was there. You don't see that happening. You know what I mean? Like with Max, just where someone's right there with him and what they're able to land.
Yeah.
And then to be the first one to secure the knockdown on him and knock him out in the fashion that he did, it was just picture perfect. The boxing skill on Ilia, man, incredible.
And the thing is, people forget, like, he is a jiu-jitsu fucking black belt, so it's not like he's a slouch on the ground either. Like, everyone's going to be talking about, oh, well, if you take him down, it's like, you're not safe down there either, motherfucker.
No, first Georgian black belt.
I want to see if it's still true, because it was like, people always talked about his knockouts, but he had more subs than knockouts at one point, let's say.
Yeah.
Still does. 8 submissions, 6 knockouts, 2 decisions. Like, he still has more submissions than he does KOs.
Came into the UFC really fine-tuning all of that boxing skill and just been doing an incredible job. And man, Ilia knocking out Max and just that overall performance is definitely not going to be something to be forgotten for a while. That will definitely live in history, sadly, but great for Ilia,
Yeah.
Moving on though, 5th award, round of the year, we've had a lot of crazy shit happen this year. It's been pretty damn incredible, honestly. Just obviously with bringing up Max and Gaethje, that 5th round, especially more so that final moment of because going into it and everyone saying that Max is the smaller guy and worrying about the power, to point down and with Gaethje is just incredible.
Yeah, and then to knock him out last couple seconds.
The very last second, 4:59 on the dot.
Yeah, just absolutely wild. Not to be forgotten or anything, bruh. Slava Claus, Chase Hooper.
You know what's really funny?
God, that round.
Now looking at this like numbers on this, maybe this should have been talked about under performance of the year, not round of the year, because it's like overall significant strikes 62-2, total strikes 129-2, control time 6 minutes and 3 seconds to 1 second, and it ended in the second round. Like it, you know what I mean? Like Chase was all over him. Like,
no, for sure. But it was just like, because with the first round of like Slava being able to scramble and just keep it fun, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but just looking at the numbers, I'm like, damn, that's how it went. He only landed 2 of 6 strikes.
Yeah,
Chase Hooper's 129 of 217.
Yeah, that's very fair.
That's fucked up.
Nah, it was fucked up. That round, like, he controlled him like a motherfucker. Like, that was such a... God. I see what you're saying, but like I do think like round,
anyway,
it does definitely still belong in round of the year as well, though.
Yeah.
And then also Hyder Emil, Fernie Garcia. That was a great one too.
Yes.
Round 1 as well.
48 shot combo.
Yeah. But the one at the top of the list that it was so goddamn wild that you even had Oliveira on Twitter like saying sorry to fans because of what they like what he put them through.
Yeah, he said sorry for your heart rate in round 5. Like, no, for real, because the anxiety.
Charles DuBronx Oliveira versus Michael Chandler, round 5. That's our round of the year. What in the absolute... It's so funny, too, of just getting, like, Oliveira getting the back, you know, later on into the round, and then Chandler just doing, like, the drop, like, with it, and just, first fight that happens in the first round, and then the second fight happens in the first round, closing out just an incredible fight altogether. You know what I mean?
No, for real.
Yeah, Chandler finally getting his numbers up, because it's funny how in the end, significant strikes are 88-84 in favor of Oliveira, but in round 5, Chandler got 40 significant strikes. It's like, that shit had me like sitting there silent, hands sweaty, just terrified.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Oliveira's been champ, has had over 30 fights in the UFC, and this was his first time seeing a 4th round and then a 5th.
Yes.
Stupid.
It's just crazy. Absolutely insane. Let's go. That's our round of the year. Go into those 2 goddamn monsters. Just
for real.
Violence. Just
violence weight. That's what 155 is. It is violence weight.
Yes, sir. Moving on though to our 6th award. Upset of the year. We did have a few just real big, you know, in terms of numbers, which our winner that's where it comes from for just like how like on the betting line how big of an underdog. But just even like some more like just some other ones in different ways, just seeing a lot of people talking about like Bilal Muhammad with Leon Edwards. It's like wasn't the biggest underdog going into that. I don't remember exactly. I think it was about plus 200.
But people were very upset.
Bro, people were definitely very upset. But then to even go to London, you know, taking it from Leon, like that was just a very big thing for him, you know. Or was that one in Manchester? I think that it might have been.
It's okay. Same shit.
I was about to say.
I think it was Manchester. But you know, but yeah, just doing it in his home country, getting it done, that was just absolutely incredible. Ayman Zahabi getting it done against Javid Basharat, that was a very sad one. Just taking his O from him.
Javid was a minus 900 favorite going into that fight. Like, stupid odds on that. Huge upset from Zahabi.
Yeah, it was a huge upset. I was saying leading up to the fight, look, Ayman's a dog. I feel like this might be an upset because I
didn't believe it.
No, like I for sure remember it. Like, I knew that was not an easy fight for Javid. I thought he'd be able to get it done, but the fact that Ayman got it done over, I was not surprised in, you know what I mean? And I feel like I know for just me, like it's just one of those things where it's like, it obviously on the lines it was huge, but
that was Vegas, like that was a like old school mid 2000s Vegas who made the odds for that fight.
Yeah, they totally fucked that shit up. Another decent one I've seen get mentioned was Paul Hughes getting it done over AJ McKee. That was definitely just like another nice one securing his spot.
Yeah, that's because people are dumb. They should have known.
Yeah. But if I definitely get in that, yeah. But our number one, this was just so crazy because Kong Wang, man, she came in with that one punch knockout in her debut. Everyone was just like, holy goddamn shit, she's gonna light the division on fire. She beat Valentina in kickboxing. We have a new contender. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Minus 950.
Oh. Oh. Bro, that head kick. When she walked right into that head kick. Oh my goodness. All the people that probably bet so much money on her probably just instantly throwing their remotes through their TVs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 1 and 2 Gabriela Fernandez. She lost to Jasmine Jasudavicius, which obviously isn't bad.
No shame.
Loses to Teresa Bleda, which, you know, nobody knows her. She just came in. Like, it was like, okay, like, you're not good. Wins the split decision over Carly Judas, who was 3-1 going into it anyway. So we know Carly, love her. But you know what I mean? So to get it done, like, it was real crazy. She looked good. When she dropped her, the way she was all over her, just trying to get her out of there, and put her to fucking sleep.
Yep.
Crazy.
Absolutely nasty. Just great for Gabriela Fernandez getting it done. But yeah, huge upset. Good for her. Upset of the year. Let's fucking go, man. Moving on down the list to our next award. This one, there were some. It was great. Event of the year. So many great events this year. Just absolutely incredible. Just, I'm sure one that's probably no one is even talking about as like an honorable mention or anything. KSW Epic, man. That was so fun going into it. The idea of having all those different types of fights, all the different rule sets, how they were doing it all, and then it just delivered as an event too, being fun.
Because it's like KSW just always has really fun events and just promotions and shit. But yeah, they had boxing, grappling, Muay Thai, the special rules bout where I don't even know what was going on exactly with the rules. They had the one night tournament. They had the one fight that it was special rules, but it was like no holds barred rules. So we got the fucking soccer kicks KO round 3. Like
Pride rules.
There was the MMA in a gi, which was one of the best fights you could see.
But he just held him up by the gi
and just boom, boom, boom. Just god damn.
Like,
so many good fights
really
on that card. It was so good.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you want to ever talk about the production value, you ever want to watch an MMA event with very good production value, watch KSW, any KSW, and it delivers.
Yeah, they are all over with the production for sure. Some other solid ones from the PFL Championship and the PFL versus Bellator. Those were 2 very solid cards as well. It just one of those things with PFL. They just, they do a whole lot, but also not enough. It's
that's the biggest thing. Is like they don't have the same type of production value, and it's just like you can tell. Like it just feels like there's a lot of times where PFL feels cheap.
Oh yeah, that is for sure. And it's just
because they are cheap.
But with the PFL Championship, just one crazy thing with that, having the 10 championship fights, that was just a very historic thing going into it for sure. Obviously, with the 4 MENA ones, not like the most meaningful, and then even like with some of the regular like world title ones, it's like just it is PFL, so people just don't be putting respect on it. But yeah, that was definitely a very good one. Just getting 8 finishes out of them as well. Not a lot of decisions.
Yeah.
On the UFC side, though, they so many good ones. Starting this year, 298, 299.
Yeah.
Those are both very good, solid events.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, they stacked. Bless you. They stacked the shit out of those events. They were very good.
Yeah. the obviously, like, with them, the meaningful ones on the top, like Sean O'Malley fighting Cheeto, like mentioned earlier.
Justin and Benoit, MVP, Kevin Holland, Jack Della Maddalena, Gilbert, Piotr Jan, Sonya Dong. Like, it was a good ass main card.
Hell yeah. Absolutely incredible. UFC 308 as well, just in Abu Dhabi. That was just another good one. Obviously, talking about with Ilya knocking out Max was great. Hamza and Whitaker was just nasty. They not like the biggest name value, but throughout the entire card, but just a whole lot of fun on there. Jeff Neal knocking with the win over RDA. That was very sad. Easily the number 2 for me on this list.
Same.
UFC 306, O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. Noche. The Sphere.
Yeah.
Bro, what an event sitting through. Like, just what
bringing out the big screen for it.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, just they have to start doing shit like that more often. Obviously, they're not going to bring that level of production and that money to their production with like every event or like to their pay-per-views consistently.
Yeah.
But you gotta flex that at least once a year, man. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
I feel like if it's not UFC Noche, doing it for like UFC International Fight Week, doing it then would be perfect. Like, you literally have like a fight event set up every year that you try to make your one of, if not your biggest event that year. Why not do that level of production value for it every year?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. They're just obviously looking to save money when they can, so that's just how it plays out.
That's what the Apex is for, damn it.
But the the biggest event of the year, UFC 300.
It's just hard to argue against.
Yeah, man, because they just stacked the deck against it. Like, they never have as deep of a card ever in any other event. Even with the Sphere doing, going that big, they had 10 fights on that card, and people complained about the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like,
this one had 13, but from top to bottom, so many former champs, everybody ranked except for like 4 people. But you know what I mean? Just crazy fights.
How do you argue against it? It's like we said, really hard to argue against UFC 300 when you are stacked literally from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Poetan Hill, Zhang Wei Li, Yan Xiaonan, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Armin Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, Bone Knuckle, Cody Brundage, sneaking its way onto the main card.
Like the one real flaw of the entire card.
Yeah, but it's like right under that. Yuri Rakic, bro. That was such a wild fight as long as that lasted. Aljo's win over Cater was incredible. Kayla Harrison making her debut against Holly Holm. Like,
Diego Lopez doing that to Sadiq.
Oh my
God.
Moicano and Jalen Turner, like Andrade Marina Rodriguez, Bobby Green, Jim Miller, and then opening it up, 2 former champs in Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt. It's like, come on, man. How is that not the greatest event of the year?
No,
No, 100%. We're going to talk about Moicano more later. Damn it.
Ginger is vengeful.
That fight still pisses me off. I'm sorry. That was.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yo, how you still mad at Jalen and not yourself for picking him for the draft a second year in a row?
That's very true. That's very true. We did laugh at you for your pick. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at fucking Nikita Krylov. You know what I mean? That's my own fault.
I'm not mad at him because of the draft. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, I'm mad at him for him.
Oh, man. So funny. But, just UFC 300, one event. We'll just not be able to forget that one.
No.
Definitely one of those where it's like, I'm glad that I'm an MMA fan when that happens. You know what I mean? So happy to not miss out on it. Going from event of the year, we're going on to submission of the year. This one, honestly, a bit lackluster, I would say, throughout the entire year. I just don't think that there was just like the most craziest, like actual, like just wild submissions. You know what I mean? Like we didn't hit a twister this year. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Or was Damone with the twister?
No, that was last year.
Okay, that's why.
Last year.
And
then
I was gonna say, I was like, there's no way
that Twister, no like Castle Icer. Now if oh fuck, Brent Primus had got a fucking Gogo Plata. That would have been a major contention.
That would have been my winner, honestly. Fucking old ass Brent Primus in a PFL championship hitting a fucking Gogo Plata.
Yeah, for real.
Incredible. Haven't seen that shit since fucking Nick Diaz and fucking Takanori Gomi. You know what I mean?
No, for real. Like that. It would have been hard to argue against it.
But it's like, it's a lackluster year for submissions. When it's like, I've been seeing every like MMA media outlet like at least talking about like Patty Pimblett sub over Bobby Green being in there. Like I've been seeing that being talked about a lot on people's list. Like not necessarily for winners, but like it just
an honorable mention type shit. Yeah, that's we didn't even have that on our list.
Yeah, because it's just it wasn't nothing crazy. But no. I feel like a very great honorable mention. DDP over Izzy.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, to point down for Izzy and say right here, right now.
And then you're getting subbed.
Then 10 seconds later.
It's what a dumb fucking stupid moment. A perfect moment for a fucking DDP title fight. You know what I mean? But it's like, for Adrika's being the first one to sub Izzy, just a great feather in his cap, like going into it, I was like, that would be the most impressive way he could beat Israel going into it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for real.
But that was incredible. Islam getting the Darce over Dustin. That was definitely a very solid one. Very sad one, but it just
beautiful.
Clean.
And the thing is with it is like that's Dustin. Even though Dustin keeps going for guillotines, he's subbed more people with a Darce.
Yes.
So to sub him with the thing he has subbed more people with, like that's the level of irony kind of there is funny.
It would have been better if it was a Gilly though. How sad it would have been.
That would have.
Like we talking about before, Hooper getting the sub over Slava, that was just a very nasty one. But number one for this year, it's like a face crank, whatever, neck, it's not the most impressive thing.
But if you break Whitaker's face,
when you break someone's face and when it's Robert Whitaker, you know what I mean? Just a little puppy walking on through with his shirt.
Just stumbling because he got all caught up in it and he got one of his arms free. He's scratching his elbows and we got to put coconut oil on him. Then we got to put a sweater on him so he don't lick off the coconut oil,
No, but for Hamza to submit Robert Whitaker in the way he did, shooting a blast double from like essentially the middle of the octagon onto the cage, and for him to chain wrestle Whitaker down to the ground and then submit him with a face crank. Like literally when we were all watching it, we're like, what the fuck just happened? Because Whitaker like panic taps when we thought.
Yeah.
No, literally broke his fucking teeth.
I ain't never seen a picture like that post fight. Like, holy fucking, oh my god, that was that was so goddamn terrible.
When your teeth are pointed towards the back of your throat, there's a problem.
That's your winner, Hamzat Chimaev, submission of the year. Good on you, absolutely incredible. Very good.
Terrible.
Moving on from submission of the year to knockout of the year.
It's like we've been here before.
We might have been once or twice or so at this point. A lot of motherfuckers got knocked out this year in very vicious fashion.
Yes.
Ilya knocking out Volk. That was just
sad.
Yep. Yeah. Very sad. Ilya knocking out Max. Very sad. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Dustin knocking out Benoit on the knee. We didn't have that on here, but that was just another great one too.
Yeah.
Gay over File. Bro, that was beautiful and sad and oh my god, just violent as fuck.
The fucking it's the one punch. I'm pretty sure it was like following up after he was unconscious. Like it's just disgusting. Yeah, just so mentioned it earlier, Vinicius Oliveira with that flying knee over Bruno Sopage. Like, bro, the way that his body just flopped and just crumbled to the floor like a sack of potatoes, it was crazy.
No, yeah, and I know it's not on here, but Sharam Magomed, his double spinning back fist, like, come on, like
if we didn't have this one, probably would have been honestly the winner of the year with just how wild it was. But number one, Maximus Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje. It's just like we've said before. You don't go out there, point to the ground, do that to Gaethje, and don't get knocked out of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Especially most of the time, he would be the one knocking out the person in that situation.
Yeah, literally just standing front and center and just swinging and bang. Like, that's not something you do with Gaethje. And you mentioned it off the podcast, but it's like people want to say that Max didn't invent the point down, blah, blah, blah. But you cannot say that the reason why we saw it consistently for weeks and months after that happened, from like just regional to UFC to Izzy doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Max did that, like it was just so huge.
Even if he didn't invent it, he popularized it. It's like
he made that shit his shit.
Exactly. Like everyone is going to refer to it as the Holloway point down. Now there are some fighters who definitely shouldn't be doing it because they'll do it and then back out.
Yeah. But hey, even Max being the gentleman he is, he was just like, hey, maybe that's their game plan for it. Like, that's how they want to do it. Just
point down and start grappling. That's their game.
Yeah, so,
that's what they mean. It's, no, I'm taking you down.
Yeah. But yeah, man, just knockout of the year. Max Holloway, good on him. Just on UFC 300, making that as just big of an event as it was too. You know what I mean? Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Moving on to fight of the year. We've had some pretty good fights this year too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great fights.
Yeah.
Easily the best, honorable mention for it, Daniel Zellhuber and Esteban Ribovic.
Yes.
Three-round war.
Yes.
Noche UFC. Beautiful. It was incredible.
Yeah. Split decision. Esteban outlanding Daniel Zellhuber 156 significant strikes to 121 across the 3-round fight. Zellhuber getting the knockdown in there too. Super close. I remember thinking that, just really wanting Daniel Zellhuber to get it done, hoping that he was going to get it. Give it to Esteban Ribovic. Can't be too mad at it.
No.
Another great one. Mekdebek Orabai, Mateusz Rebecki. That was a great fight.
More violence.
Yes. Violence. Like, violence, wait, what can I say? Like, that was another just war.
No, yeah, we got a couple good ones this year.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. But our number one, the one that we thought was the most meaningful, the most impactful, the biggest and most memorable, everything with everything. Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. Let's go.
Listen, there's a reason he got a double bonus that night. Okay.
Yes.
Performance
for real.
of the night and fight of the night. Well, it was performance of the year and fight of the year. Like, knockout of the year, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, knockout of the year, fight of the year. Yep. It
was just instant legendary shit. Like, instant classic. It was, for all the people that were sad because they bet on Max winning a decision or they just didn't think that he could do that, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, beautiful fight. Everybody loved it. It's just, it is what it is.
No, yeah, it is what it is. It was so good of a fight. Like, literally, like,
just delight.
And because it's like, we're saying that Ilya was the first one to get the legitimate knockdown over Max. Max gave that credit to Gaethje. Like, no, that was a knockdown. He put me down. Like, you know what I mean? That was Max's fight through and through and to end it in spectacular fashion. But it only went that long and was as good as it was because Gaethje was game the entire time looking to go after Max and try and take his head off with every single shot.
Hell yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
So let's go. That's our fight of the year. Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, 2 goddamn warriors, 2 animals, and like we were saying, 155, violence, always about it.
Bad motherfuckers.
100%.
Moving on, though, to our last official award, Fighter of the Year. this one was definitely the most debated one, the hardest one to actually just parse through all of the details, what we think is the most meaningful, what we wanted to choose as our number one pick.
Yes.
But for some honorable mentions, it's just always hard because you have so many fighters that do great things, but if like you have a champion that does great things, it's just a contender is never going to live up to it, you know?
Yeah.
But Diego Lopez, man, starting off this year, unranked fighter, comes in UFC 300, knocks out Sadiq Youssef in the first round, just absolutely mollywopping him with 2 uppercuts, basically. That was all it took. Then International Fight Week, supposed to fight Ortega, pulls out on 4 hours notice or something, steps in Dan Ige like the
But not even just that, because it was on it was the morning of weigh-ins that he was told, like early that morning, 3-4 a.m. type shit, that he was told, wait, it's going to be a catch weight. Morning of weigh-ins, you're basically on weight. He said he was on weight, and I don't take him as a lie.
And not even catch weight 155, like just completely up 10 pounds to a new weight class.
Yeah, up 10 pounds to lightweight, is down for that, 155, cool. Then, like you said, on hours notice, just a couple hours notice, takes on Dan Ige at the catch weight of 165. Literally up 20 pounds from what he was the morning before. Like,
bro, I'll just never forget sitting there watching 300, and they say that, like, you know, Ortega was out, and we were just like, God damn it, what the fuck? And then they show that little backroom weigh-in between him and Dan Ige, and we're just like,
what?
Okay,
okay, yeah, because they were talking about like, oh, Dan Ige says that he's gonna take the fight. They're showing the text message of Dan being like, "I'm in Vegas. I will drive there. Do not take this opportunity away from me." And then the weigh-ins in the back, and it was just fucking crazy.
It was insane.
Just never see that kind of shit happen, especially in modern like MMA. Like, just some true wacky shit. It's like, because he was supposed to fight next week, he was already commissioned by the UFC and everything, or by the like the commission. So it was just like, I never would have thought that they would sanction a fight on like 4 hours notice like that.
Wild. Then it's rebooked against Ortega, damn near this close to finishing him in the first round.
Yeah, he knocked himself back. He knocked Ortega back conscious, unfortunately. Then
lands had to go to the overhand, and Ortega's out. Lands the left like shovel hook, brings him back.
And then just cements himself as a top 5 fighter, and is like one fight away or deserving of a title fight, depending on how the division plays out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yep.
But just a great shout out to Diego Lopez for sure. Carlos Prates, as we mentioned, with the 4, it just, you know what I mean? It just incredible what he's done.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Motherfucking Poetan.
This is where it gets truly debatable.
Yes. Because you never have a champion that 2 times in a year on short notice is going to defend their title
and then still fight again.
Gets knockouts in both of them. The second one is it was the Jamal one where he goes in with the broken toe, knocks him out in the first round, breaks another toe, goes into the Yuri fight with the 2 broken toes, you know what I mean? Knocks him out, and then fights Khalil in October and knocks him out in the 4th round. Just going absolutely insane that 4th round, just putting it on him in the flow state. Just absolutely incredible. But our number 1, we had to give it to none other than Ilia Topuria. Because even though he has 1 less title win, you knock out Volk and Max Holloway in a single year.
Literally, like, people, and I know people are going to be like, no, but Poetan, because of the 3 fights, the knockouts, all this, like, saying short notice, but it's like, do you know how rare it is to, in the span of a year, knock out 2 people who have been argued as the divisional GOAT? Like, that is insane. Having a win streak include back-to-back wins over Volkanovski, then Holloway, is insane.
And it's like, I know with the Volk one going into it, he was just coming off of a knockout from Islam, on short notice, 3 months. But it's like, with how Ilya fought him, I have no doubt in my mind if they gave Volk a year off or whatever, a year, however long he wanted, that fight was going the same way. He systematically broke him down, pushed him on the cage, landed that kill shot, and put him away.
Yeah, because it's like the first round, he didn't do much, but just calculate the right move. Like, he just stayed back, he found his distance, and then it was the second round. Yeah, he just went in there and, like you said, backed him up. Boom, done.
Yep. It just vicious. And then, like, to be the first one to knock out Max, it's like Poatan did great things in just a way that nobody has, but he never beat the number 1 contender in his division this year as well. You know what I mean? Which is just like a big thing. Short notice, obviously, that's crazy, but it's like neither his opponents weren't fully prepared for those fights either, So it's like, it's definitely very hard, super debatable. If people decide to have Poatan, I completely understand it. You know what I mean?
One of those ones where you could literally go either or. And I'm not going to be mad at you.
Yeah. But for us, Ilya Topuria, our fighter of the year for 2024. Let's go. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, very sad, but it just truly on the rise to greatness. Those are all of our official awards. But for some last little funds, we got to have a little honorable mention of an award.
Dumbasses of the year.
Yes. It's one of those things where obviously MMA, high stakes. It's like, you don't want to fucking just shit on people too much and like talk shit, but I like to have a little bit of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just there were some real low IQ moments of the year. So much so we couldn't just really pick one, and we just kind of just put together a nice little list. Ginger, you want to take it away?
Yeah, the first one I want to mention is Jalen Turner versus Onata Moicano. Obviously,
last one on the list.
I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about event of the year, so I have to bring it up now like this.
I'm crying
because he had that fight won. He 100%. Like, that's the thing about all the other fights, though, is like everything else, like they were either beginning the fight or like they were not winning those fights. He was supposed to win that fight in that moment. Tries to have a walk-off KO. Moicano wasn't even out, but like when he was going down, you could see he was still conscious. And just and then ends up getting finished for it. What, the next round?
Yeah. Just gets like, taken down, beat the fuck up, and
it's just
dominated.
Like, that was so bad.
Yeah. That was pretty bad. Absolutely incredible. I was so happy for Moicano to get it done, but it just definitely a terrible fashion for Jalen Turner to lose for sure. Then just a great one, Chrome Gracie. This dude, it's just even funnier because going into his fight with Bryce Mitchell, just being like, I was dumb, just being so limited heading into these MMA fights and just losing like that.
Yep.
And then he heads into arguably his toughest opponent. And just the same shit, can only pull guard and then not do shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then the third round, pulls guard again, and Bryce Mitchell is just like, I've had enough of this bullshit, and just flattened him into the mat with that slam, man.
Off and just
and then it's like, everyone was just saying, like the ground and pound, like he was done with that fucking slam. You know what I mean? The follow-up shots, but just absolutely terrible.
There was like one elbow he needed to do in there, and that was it.
Yeah. Chrome Gracie cannot be going into fights, especially against top 15 opponents, with only pulling guard,
Bro, and even when this fight happened, less than a month away from the year 2025, and he's pulling guard, and that's it. That's all he can do.
I was saying it before because I didn't believe him. He is a throwback fighter. Like, he is such a goddamn fucking specialist. And the thing is, he's not even a good, like, jiu-jitsu specialist like fucking Damian Maia was.
Yeah. Even Herbert Burns got more than him in his arsenal. You know what I mean?
That's so bad. That is so
bad. Absolutely incredible. The next, bruh,
that should be booked for outside the UFC. Herbert Burns versus Chrome Gracie.
That'd be so funny. But this next one to bring up, it will just, I know to like me and Kate, just bro, we'll just never forget this.
I can't.
Just the utter ridiculousness of watching Alonzo Menafield start the fight against Carlos Ulberg, run right after him, head first into the cage, bounces off of it, gets knocked down for it, and then gets finished within 14 seconds, I believe.
12 seconds.
12 seconds.
What was your game plan?
Yeah, because that was the thing. All we could do was laugh during it and after and just everything. But that's where it's like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Like, what?
No, literally, like. I can get wanting to get right after them. You know what I mean? I can understand wanting to be right there, pushed up right against the cage. But brother, who takes off full speed in such a small distance like that? And then bounces yourself off the cage, falls, gets back up, and then you get knocked out. Duh.
The only person I can ever think of with a similar game plan was Chelsea Chandler in that one moment against Norma Dumont. You know what I mean?
That wasn't a game plan. That was fear, and she was running. Away.
But just running that fast in such a small place. You know what I mean? But just incredible. What a way for Carlos Ulberg to get himself up into the mix. Just wowza. Absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the last one to bring up, Vitor Petrino. That was against Anthony Smith in Brazil. You got a guy that pulls the ghillie on you. And so it's just like, let me lift him all the way up in the air.
And slam myself deeper into it.
Yeah. And it was just so stupid. Just going into it so scared for Anthony Smith of like, oh man, another prospect that's probably going to beat him up, knock him out, whatever. You know what I mean? And he just does it like that.
Yeah, just watching him literally pick him up and Smith wrapping it tighter because that's, of course, what's going to happen. It's like, oh.
Because even with it, it's not like, as soon as he did, it slammed him right away. It just like picked him up, like let Smith settle, and then was like, okay, let's go down, buddy. Like, shit, I forgot I was in a ghillie. Fight's over.
No, yeah, for real.
Absolutely terrible. But yeah, those are our biggest low IQ moments of the year for sure.
I'd like to add one more because I literally just thought about it.
And
it is not inside the cage low IQ. It is outside the cage. And that is Michael Chandler believing that he was going to fight Conor McGregor this year.
I mean, to be fair, he was booked and scheduled in a fight against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got way closer this year than he ever
did.
Yeah, very true.
It's a 2-year in a row running award for him.
But at least he finally got a fight. At least he did fight, though.
Yeah. At least he did fight this year. I will give you that one.
But...
I would say, if anything, the low IQ is him going back to Conor of like, hey, we're still doing this, right? Like, if you want to get your shit together, I'm still here, buddy. Like, I took another L. Like, you want to do it now? Like,
how about now?
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. But let's go. Those are all of our awards for this year in 2024. What a great year. I really hope that in 2025 we get a lot more good, fun moments. And I honestly do believe that we are going to, especially with the UFC's media rights deal coming up at the end of this year. And they're already looking like they're stacking shit out for January, which they never do.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm expecting some big shit this year, honestly.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be like something like that. Then you got, PFL obviously is going to be around.
Who knows what is going to happen with them? This is the last year I'm giving them a chance to to have me on their side. You know what I mean? Like that's.
It's GFL, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you got them coming up this year starting.
Grandpa Fight League.
Yeah.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
Hopefully.
Give it a year. But we do have to be a little like, we have to let the process happen. We have to trust the process for at least a couple, I would say 2 to 3 years. At that end of that, second or third year, it's like, okay, I see where this is going. It's not going anywhere fast. Types.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Made the joke, but it's like I do want to support them so they can get the momentum to actually get better signees. And so it's like, it's not fucking we got Verdum and fucking JDS and fucking Vanderlei Silva. And you know what I mean? It's
I hope to God he's a manager, like a coach or something, and he's not actually fighting.
Yeah, but it's
if
so it's like just gotta hope.
That'd be dumb. I'm not gonna lie. If he's fine to be able to fight,
I don't know,
that'd be
man.
so bad.
I got no faith in it, especially that they couldn't have people buy their teams like they planned, and so now they're just running it in-house. So they're gonna, I would assume, probably look to have at least some meaningful names to sell some tickets sometimes,
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that plays out for sure. January 24th is the draft, so let's go. But yeah, other than that, nothing. That's it.
What an ending.
Peace out, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you. Yeah, Happy New Year's. Hope everyone enjoyed the holidays, and we'll catch you on the return to some good old podcasting. You know what I mean?
Dog.
Peace.